And welcome back to part 4 of What If Naruto Had a Sister. Last time in the Naruto What If, Naruto was on the mission to the wave and we left off at the Battle of the Bridge. Now, real quick, one thing I'm going to address right up front is a question that was asked actually twice and I didn't actually address it. It's minor, but it does play towards Naruto's character a little bit. Did he ever create the sexy jutsu? And this is a legitimate question when you think about it, because Naruto is a bit of a pervert. But he has an older sister who would probably beat his ass if he tried something like that. So did he ultimately learn it? I will say yes, he did, but he no longer uses it on fear for his life due to his sister threatening his life because he used it. So yeah, there's that. I do think he has it, but he never uses it anymore. But anyway, we get to the battle on the bridge. There is something else I'm going to address, but it won't be till later. We get to the battle on the bridge. And mostly this goes the same up until Naruto shows up. And I say that because they didn't actually learn like new jutsu or anything during their training in the canon or here. So besides the fact that Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura all have just better chakra control, they don't have any other techniques under their belt that would really help here. So Haku creates the Ice Mirror. Naruto does ultimately hit him with the kunai. They square off. Naruto does still sneak in. Now, for as intelligent as I kind of made Naruto, and he's not much more intelligent, but he does have a leg up compared to the original version Naruto due to having someone to help look after him, raise him, and learn a bit off of. He's definitely got a bit more street smarts, and he's not as academically impaired as he was. Still not very bright academically, but still. For all that, he is still Naruto. He still sneaks in, and they still, start getting their ass kicked by Haku. Now, one thing that does actually rear its head here a little bit, or change a little bit, is the fact that when Haku tries to, or Naruto tries to blitz the mirrors the first time, he gets taken down. Sasuke tells him to do it again. Naruto even agrees, but this time he has a little backup here. He has the clones come out, but he also, as soon as they jump, he throws the shuriken out and just basically spins and basically does a 360 Shadow Clone Shuriken Jutsu. So when Haku goes and starts to hit them, he's now also avoiding these spinning blades, and he does get nicked a couple times. Haku actually gets a little messed up. Not anything that truly hinders his performance, but enough that if he were to be hit again, he could be in some trouble. He could be in just a risk of bleeding out. And this also causes him to hesitate for attacking Naruto and Sasuke again. So they're actually able to go back to back and, team up and regroup and kind of think it over again. And now Haku not only has to worry about Sasuke, because Sasuke is at this point keeping up with him, learning where he is. He's now going to worry about Naruto and the Shadow Shuriken Jutsu. I keep saying Shadow Shuriken, but it's Shadow Clone Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. The triple S, if you will. The SS ranked technique. But still, Haku has to be a little more wary. Still, Haku's speed is still more than Naruto can really keep up with. Naruto really just caught him off guard because he wasn't expecting the technique. And he only ever saw it the one time when watching Zabuza. So even though he knew he had it, because Naruto hadn't used it for a while, he completely had forgotten that Naruto had it. And he had to he remembered that. He's like, crap, now I forgot he had that technique. Now I gotta be more careful. And so they're able to draw out the fight a bit more. But I do think that it goes about the same still. Naruto is struggling, he can't move. Sasuke goes in and, saves him. And Naruto has that moment with Sasuke. Now, does it still have the same impact it did in the original? Yeah, I do think it would have the same impact it has in the original. The reason for that is, even though he actually has a relationship, he actually has friends, and Sasuke might not be his most important relationship in life right now. It's actually probably his sister, who's always been stuck with him through thick and thin. Even though that's the case, I still see Sasuke's death having a serious impact. Because he still sees him as a rival and a guy who kind of gets on his skin, but like as in a brother type of way. Because that's honestly how they saw each other. And he cracks, goes into the nine tails, I'm gonna kill you! And, he starts going in and just smashing the mirrors. And he clocks Haku. Unfortunately here, Haku's actually a lot more injured than he is in the original. So him clocking out Haku nearly knocks his ass out. He barely is able to get up. He's staggering a little bit. Naruto comes in, but he still hesitates and pauses. It's like, it was you all along? And they have the conversation. Now, I feel as though Naruto's conversation with Haku might be a little different. Again, because Naruto also has the perspective, despite being treated like crap and fighting people, of actually having someone the whole time. And so I think that conversation will actually go more in Haku's favor, not in Naruto's favor. What I mean by that is, I don't think Naruto has a strong leg enough to stand on and try to convince. I mean, obviously, he clearly wasn't able to convince Haku in the original either. But I don't think he has enough argument to even try to persuade Haku even further or any more. I think Haku is a bit more even. What's the best sentence structure I can use here? Because I'm clearly stumbling with what I'm trying to say. He's unable to convince Haku to live, and he is even less effective in trying to convince Haku to not let Naruto kill him. Still, however, it doesn't really matter because Haku senses Zabuza being killed, sacrificed himself for Zabuza. Everything on the bridge goes the same at that point. Enough said. Because there's nothing that's drastically changed. Now, if Naruto were here, obviously a lot more would be changed. But she isn't. So we move over to... we actually cut all the way fast track now through the end of that whole bridge mission where, Gato and his gang show up. Fast forward through the end where, they say goodbye and name it the Great Naruto Bridge. All that. Sasuke lives. Fast forward through there now, and you're now getting the ladder where, Naruto is, Naruto and the gang are, busy doing their thing. They get the rest of the day off. I believe this is the day where Naruto is with them, so they get the day off. And obviously Konohamaru, as Kakashi goes to get the announcement that the Chunin Exams are happening, and Konohamaru comes like, bosses! Hey, come on, we said you guys promised you were going to play Neji today if you had the day off. It's like, no, that's true, we did. And obviously Sakura gets that unfortunate rude awakening from Sasuke. You're worse than, come on, you're actually worse than Naruto or Naruto. It's like, Sasuke! And it's like, what have I really done? I'm useless. Yeah, I find it amazing she actually acknowledged that fact. But, and then she hears a ninja playing ninja. That's so twisted. And I actually think Naruto kind of calls her out and is like, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with us enjoying our day off? Enjoying our day off and trying to, play with the next generation, Besides, we're ninja. We can face life. We may face life and death on a regular basis. What Naruto told me, you guys had quite a bit of drama. So why not have some fun? What's wrong with it? And, Naruto's kind of just chastising Sakura a little bit for that attitude. And she's like, it's like, hey, boss, who is this? Is she your girlfriend? To which Naruto, smartly this time, says, no, she's just my teammate. And Sakura's, now this is one of those things where Sakura's like, it's like, what? Was it what? He's not attracting me anymore? Because this version of Naruto, while maybe initially was attracted to Sakura, kind of fell back from that with Naruto's help, and the fact that with her recognizing and clearly pointing out, Sakura doesn't really like you that much, and she's actually kind of abusive. Like, seriously, your go-to answer shouldn't be to hit people, Sakura. What the hell is wrong with you? Yeah, it's like, so Naruto's like, no, she's just my teammate. Well, I'm not surprised with a forehead like that. Why would you want to date her? Now, Naruto still knows Sakura well enough, and even Naruto knows Sakura well enough to know, like, oh, you're a dead kid walking. And Naruto's like, no, Sakura, he's young, he doesn't realize. And Naruto's like, Konohamaru, run as fast as you can. It's like, what good. You see Sakura's like, and she's like, ah! It's like, and then, Udon and, Kagome? I think that was her name. But, there it's like, oh boy, he really did it this time. And Naruto and Naruto are just like, yeah, well, we better save him before she kills him. Eventually they run into Kankuro. Now, I'm not going to go on my spiel of how dumb Kankuro is. But yes, he's very dumb at this point. So that whole interaction goes mostly the same, although Naruto is tripped. Naruto is able to, it does catch him, and it does catch him, and she's trying to like figure out the technique a little bit, what's going on. Naruto's like, what was that? I'm not sure, Naruto. Naruto, but don't go charging recklessly at some guy like that. Right, sorry. It's like, and then they actually, she pulls out a kunai, and Naruto pulls out Naruto's like, we'll give you one last chance. Drop him, or we'll drop you. And then finally Sasuke ends like, oh, I see. Oh, you really want some of this? And all of a sudden, then boom, gets the pebble from Sasuke, and you're the brat I hate the most. All talk and nothing to back it up. Kankuro, stop it. You're an embarrassment to our village. You get everything along those lines. I do think Naruto is a bit more, not proactive. That's not the right term. But she is a bit more upfront. It's like, hey, knock it off. Who do you think you are? You don't get to just walk into someone's village and accost the kid. I do think Naruto is a bit more like that, where it's like, Sakura. I hate beating the dead horse thing with the Sakura useless thing, but Sakura was just standing there as a little kid was being accosted and almost beaten to hell by some stranger from another village. Like, at least speak the hell up. Anyway, so they all go their separate ways, and then you get now this is actually very important that you get the interaction with the shinobi or the senseis and the third Hokage. In 1 week, the Chunin Exams shall begin. And, Iruka steps up. Now, I don't know if this was actually in the canon or if it was something for the anime only, but Iruka steps up and actually was like, they're not ready. It's like, they're my soldiers, not your students anymore. Well, what about Naruto? She doesn't have a sensei. This is true. Now, someone brought this up, and I did want to bring it up. Our Naruto showed too much promise to let her go back to the academy, so we agreed to have her be a auxiliary member for every other team. However, that does not seem to have have worked as effectively as hoped. And Kakashi points out, it's very likely we stretched her too far. Part of being a team is to build relationships and know each other's skills in and out, but because Naruto's only spent limited time with each team, while she's garnered a large amount of overall experience, her actual finite knowledge has grown slim. He's looking at the teams like, we shall from here, assuming she does not pass this year, we'll limit her to only a few set teams. Then which team is she going to be a part of? Well, that's easy. She's going to be a part of Team 7, to which Kurenai and even Team Guards like, well, wait a minute, Kakashi, she's done pretty well on my team mostly. It's like, Kurenai's like, not from what I heard. Apparently she had a little spat with one of your students a while back. Oh, it was just youthful banter. It's nothing that isn't easily overcome. And honestly, I think she should be on my team. She's known Shino and Hinata since the academy, and they seem to get along very well. True, it's true, but she's not much of a tracker, Kurenai. Isn't that what your team specializes in? And Kakashi points out, like, ultimately, I think she should be on my team. The reason for that is she's a much more of a frontline fighter. Adding to the fact that she'd be on her team with her brother, who each of them have been training with each other since childhood, and Sasuke, she was able to give a good run for her money in the academy, and I think you could actually have a very well balanced team there. The third's thinking it over, and I want to bring that up, that the fact that the whole idea, someone brought it up, is that Naruto got the short end of the stick, basically, is that she's not going to be building a lot of relationships. And to some degree, you're right. But I don't think it's completely that bad. She already knew Shino and Hinata from the academy. I mean, she knew Hikaba too, but she was friends with them from the academy. So she definitely, I got a little bit of a nasal thing going on. So I said academy. So she already knew them. So she was already friends with them. So that's 2/3 of the team she's already on good terms with. She probably would butt heads. She's probably very much Naruto-like when it comes to Kiba. She doesn't like Kiba very much. Shikamaru, and Choji, she can probably get along fairly well with, particularly Shino and Choji. She's not very fond of the whole Valley Girl shtick, but whatever. She tolerates it. I actually think she gets along, when it came to Team Guy, she got along very well with Rock Lee. I think Tien. 10-10 actually, and her and Naruto were actually realizing, oh my god, another Kunoichi who takes who takes this shit seriously. They're like, oh my god, they're actually, I'd imagine they're almost like besties immediately. We'll get to what happened with Neji in a little bit, because I mentioned, or I hinted at something that happened a while back for Naruto with Team Guy, and yes, it did involve Neji, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So anyway, she's going to be on Team 7 for this, and she's gonna, if she does not pass, she'll be basically rotating between the 4 major teams, basically condensing it down, and it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Plus, there's the main cast, because that's actually one of the things she's been suffering right now, is the fact that she's been rotating through all the teams. So some of those she gels with better than others. Anyway, they're giving the news Naruto's going to be on the team. It's like, woo! Kakashi informs them to maybe brush up on just their team. It's been a while since they've been on a team together, all 4 of them, so just brush up on teamwork. They do that. They're pretty good. They're pretty all synced up and whatnot. So the day of the test comes, they go, and the first one is obviously the Genjutsu, which Sasuke calls out, and Naruto doesn't really bat an eye at it. And Sasuke and then do meet Team Guy, to which, Neji is I see, so you're Sasuke and Chien, who are you? I'm not obliged. I was like, what'd you say? And they basically are about to clash, and just, really gets in the middle of this, like, Lee, I thought we said we weren't going to show off. I know, but, and he sees Sakura, but he also sees Naruto. It's like, hello again, Naruto. It's nice to see you. He's not trying to proposition Sakura. He's just saying hi again to Naruto. And Naruto kind of like, Neji. It's like, Naruto's like, wait, what happened? Oh yeah, you were away for that. Let's just say me and him don't really see eye to eye. Flashback. So flashback to one of the first times she's with Team Guy. This is Naruto Uzumaki. She'll be the rotating between the teams. She has the youthful advantage of being on our team today. It's like, hi. It's like, and, her and 10-10 immediately hit it off. And I think that her and Lee actually hit it off pretty well, because Lee can tell she wasn't gifted with anything except a large chakra reserve, so she had to work with it too. It's like, let us both become splendid shinobi. It's like, I like that. And, and Neji, she tries to say hi to Neji. He's like, whatever, it's pointless. You'll just be slowing us down overall. Fate has decided, and she basically starts saying, want to be Hokage. Neji does his whole fate spiel. Like, whatever. And so during a training session, they are basically now sparring it out. Lee and I think Naruto actually are really compatible with each other sparring wise. Although Lee is still the better taijutsu user, absolutely. But still, she's actually able to give him a good fight. But when it comes to Neji, Lee immediately gets his ass kicked, and Naruto's like, "Are you okay? Don't you think you went a little hard, Neji?" And it's his fault for trying to be something that he can't be. And it's like, what's that? A full ninja. He can only use taijutsu because he can only use taijutsu. Notice there's hardly been any good ninja who could ever be anything but what they are beyond their own skills. Like, he should just give up. It's like, I would never give up. It's like, and who the hell in Naruto's? Who the hell do you think you are? And it doesn't matter. Are you planning to take me on, Naruto? You'll just wind up embarrassing yourself likely. And so her and Neji just start going out a little bit, and yeah, she's not doing very well. But because her style is a bit more flow and, dodging and a bit more, not acrobatic, fluid, like a fluid motion, she is able to avoid more hits. She's just not able to get any solid hits in on him. He then just punch. What? It's like, and she's getting back up. It's like, you really are stubborn. What makes you so particular? I plan to aim for Hokage. You'll never be Hokage. Yeah, and you'll never be anything more than an arrogant ass. And she basically just throws a rock at him. It's like, are you please? And then all of a sudden, the rocks turn into about a dozen or two. It's like, what? Ah! And he just gets hit a couple times in the head. It's like, what was that? And all of a sudden, she cracks him straight in the jaw. And he's what? It's called the Shadow Clone Shuriken Jutsu. or Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. But the truth is, it's just a matter of putting your chakra in a solid object. You can do easily with anything, a stick or a rock or anything. And she's just, it's like, yeah, that was a lucky hit. True, but I still got the hit on. If I was so really want to try it again. It's like you, and then guys like, oh, that's enough, Lee, or Neji. Yeah, you need to get control of your emotions, Neji. There's no reason to be fighting with your teammates. Naruto, I must say that was a bit of a dirty tactic, but in the ninja world, I must admit that was a clever technique. It threw him off guard. He wasn't expecting it. Believe me, I'll expect it next time. And it's like, she stares at him. Come back to the present. Yeah, it's like, yeah, we don't really get along very well. And Naruto's just like, And Neji sees Hinata. It's like, hello, Hinata, brother. And it's like, and so they're walking down the hall. So yeah, Naruto pissed him. He pissed Neji off, he pissed Naruto off for basically insulting Lee and just insulting people who have dreams. And then she pissed him off by actually getting the one up on him in a fight. So that's where I kind of saw that scenario going. But anyway, they go, and then Lee goes like, excuse me, 1 second. Hello, hi Lee. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous Naruto. It's like, it's a pleasure to see you. I would love to take you out sometime. But for now, I am here to challenge Sasuke. It's like, and Naruto's just like, oh. And Sasuke actually does feel a little tinge of like, Naruto's one of the only girls who I actually kind of like. It's like, and you're going to try to date her? Yeah, hold on. But also he wants to challenge Sasuke. It's like, wait, don't you want to challenge me? No, not right now. I only want to challenge the Uchiha. And Naruto actually holds Naruto back. Although it's like, it's all right, Naruto. This isn't a sanctioned match, and you're better off watching him first a little bit and getting an idea what he can do. Fine. And Sasuke and Lee go toe-to-toe. Sasuke loses. Again, I always point out that Lee basically was setting the rules for his own. He was tipping the balance of that scenario all in his favor, so it proved jack shit. Guy comes in, scolds Lee. They go into the exam room. Really, there's not much to say. It pretty much goes the same, although Ino, Hinata, all that, they basically kind of like talk to Naruto a little bit. There's not much to go off of there. Ultimately, Ibiki shows up. Then you have the testing, the paper test. Really, nothing changes with that either. Besides the fact there's one extra team member there, but that means more people. They have no issue letting Naruto be in there because just because they have one extra person doesn't actually mean anything. In fact, having an extra teammate, quite frankly, hurts you because that's another person they can view cheating. That's another person that needs, in theory, at least from their knowledge, needs to get scored, needs to get a grade. So having extra teammates actually really hurts you in that scenario. Ultimately, he gives the final test. Naruto is about to, Naruto and Naruto are been neurostruck, but Naruto's about to raise his hand, and he just, gives the encouraging word, and it's like, yeah! Then Haku shows up, and they're about to go into the forest to death. Now, I actually think they do let Naruto hold the scroll. Sasuke and Sakura trust her more than they trust Naruto. And I think because they have a fourth member, it does make it more, it does give them an advantage because now you don't know who's holding the scroll. And I think they trust Naruto enough to hold the scroll in this case. So that is where part 4 is going to end with them going into the forest of death. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.